Only
playing
had
that
me being
from? Where are you
influenced.
playing that from? Where are you playing that from?
What do you mean? I'm just playing it on my computer.
But from what? Like your library,
iTunes,
Apple
iTunes,
Music? Okay, there you go. That's why I
Apple
can't
Music,
hear
Apple Music.
it. There's no chance that shit would even come in through here, dog.
Dude, sorry,
Dale,
that
let's
just
get
I
this
just,
shit
came,
rolling.
I just came through it. So what are we doing right now? It's not OnlyFans, or we doing OnlyFans right now?
Nah, we're just gonna do a sports with SoSo episode.
Because
The
we
game
got the
was already
OnlyFans
fucking.
stickers and banners and shit.
Yeah, we gotta change that. Fuck, I hate not having my glasses. There we go.
God damn, bro, gorgeous. Holy fuck. So many bad bitches out in this world, bro.
A lot.
There's a lot, bro.
There's a lot. So, all right, here we go. I'm gonna hit the intro real quick. Wow, my eyes are bloodshot as fuck.
Not that bad. They could be worse, man.
It could be a lot worse, man. All right, here we go.
Bullet!
3. Bomba clock!
Oh,
I
man.
love that shit. I love that shit. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's get serious. Here we go. 3, 2. Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy SoSo, and welcome back to the channel. Make sure you're hitting that like, comment, and subscribe button, and more importantly, turn on those notifications. That way, you guys get notified when we drop hits like this. On this episode, we're breaking down the Dolphins' lack of movement before the trade deadline. We check in with the Canes and where they ended up on the playoff ranking. The Heat are doing well to start the season, and the Panthers are getting all their players back in just in time. Fuck, I almost had it. 3, 2. Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy SoSo. Is that you?
You hear the dogs?
Yeah. I just muted you for a second. 3, 2. Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy SoSo, and welcome back to the channel. Make sure you're hitting that like, comment, and subscribe button, and more importantly, turn on those notifications. That way, you guys get notified when we drop hits like this. On this episode, we're breaking down the Hurricanes. Yo, what's going on? Let's go, bro. Relax. Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy SoSo, and welcome back to the channel. Make sure you're hitting that like, comment, and subscribe button, and more importantly, turn on those notifications. That way, you guys get notified when we drop hits like this. On this episode, we're breaking down the Dolphins' lack of movement before the trade deadline. The Canes end up 18th on the playoff ranking. The Heat are actually off to a good start to their season, and the Panthers are getting their mojo back. It's time to take a ride, y'all. Let's go. Yo.
Yo.
All right. So we'll start there. We'll start there, dog. First of all, I just want to say this. We did not plan on wearing beige. It's just so happened to happen. I should wear my Empire shirt. I don't know what you got on, dog, but I'm highly it out. It's kind of weird how we're in sync like that, dog.
I mean, it happens, dog. When you've been doing a show together for, I don't even know how long we've been doing this now, 4 or 5 years now. We've been doing this.
Yeah, doggy. 4 years, easy.
You're bound to think alike, dog. What's going on? So
Everything's good, man. Everything's good, at least in both of our worlds, man. I wish we could say the same about the Dolphins, dog, and that's kind of where I want to start, bro, because I want to get the worst and negative shit out the way. That way we can have an awesome episode, right? Besides the fact, Joel, that they lost 28-6 to Baltimore, right? When we lost that game, the manner we lost that game, how we got dominated, we couldn't get anything going, all types of stuff, right? We all know what happened in that game. Here's the thing that drives me the craziest. In my mind, I thought, well, what's going to happen? Somebody has to get fired. And sure enough, the next day, Greer gets fired or they come to their amicable agreement. Okay, cool. Now, it leads me to believe with that move that it's like, all right, now we're shifting focus to see how we can cut salary, get as many draft picks in return in this upcoming trade deadline, and get that ball rolling. And then I don't know how you felt about it, but when I saw Jaden Phillips get traded, I was like, well, this is the first domino to fall. I'm sure there's going to be at least another two guys that head out the door, and nobody ended up moving. And the thing that kills me the most, dog, especially about the Jalen Phillips shit, yeah, you had to trade him, right? We weren't going to extend him. The money was going to be too much. All right, cool. We knew that, right? But the original trade was for a fourth round pick, and we ended up paying $5 million of his salary in order to upgrade that pick to a third. So we really didn't get a third. We paid for the third.
Right.
I don't know, man. And for that to be the only move is like this organization is not focused where they need to be focused at.
It's super whack, dog. It's super whack, especially when you look at our division rivals and the New York Jets, right? Who suck, and they went ahead and got rid of two of their biggest stars, dog, and they got picks in return. They got 2 first-rounders for Sauce Gardner, dog. That's pretty impressive. Yeah. Sauce is a great talent. Don't get me wrong. The Colts get good, better immediately on defense. And the Jets get 2 first-round picks, so now they get to play with that. And they send their D tackle Quentin Williams, their young, promising D tackle over there for a first round, I think, too. And they're just stacking up on picks. So we saw that happening, and we thought, all right, for sure the Dolphins, Waddle's on the move, right? Like what else possibly could we be moving or selling? And we thought Waddle maybe. Rumor has it that Waddle potentially the asking price was a little too high for Waddle. I think we wanted a first rounder, maybe another one, maybe a third rounder involved with that first rounder. And, we couldn't get that deal done. But, I'm disappointed, dog. I'm very disappointed that the fact that only Greer is gone and the only move that we made was Jalen Phillips.
Yeah. And the fact that we're overvaluing our talent, right? Because if you ask me, and I'm sure you would agree, bro, as much as we love and respect Jalen Waddle, the way he's carried himself here as a Miami Dolphin, like he's gonna be a fan favorite for the rest of his life as a Miami Dolphin, right? People will always think fondly of Jalen Waddle here, right? He's not worth a first round pick. Now when guys that are the best in their position are getting traded for that. And that's what people fail to see in comparison with what the Jets did. Yeah, Sauce Gardner is probably a top 5 cornerback on any given day. You talk about Quinn Williams, how many DTs can get you, 10 sack season every year and be a disruptive force in the running game? Not a lot. So when those guys can do that and be elite at their position, yeah, you're gonna get first round talent back. No diss on Jalen Waddle. Trust me, no diss on this guy, right? He's an awesome wide receiver, a true professional, but he's not worth a first round. So if we could have got a second and a fourth, why not do that? Why not do that? Especially if we know we're hitting that reset button. Because here's the thing that I don't like about this, right? And I'm sure the players definitely don't like. Now we've shown our hand because we know who's available and who we wanted to get rid of, and we couldn't do it. Not only do you have to bring those guys back into the locker room and be like, oh, shit, it's all good now. Go ahead and bust your ass the rest of the season, right? On top of that, when it comes into the next offseason, you're kind of at a weak point as far as the, trade negotiations go because they know you have to go to these players. And that you're not going to want to pay them and you don't want them to hit that salary cap for 2026. So I feel like the Dolphins are really playing themselves, man, in all facets, bro. They're really playing themselves.
Yeah, and no, I mean, Greer's gone and he's gone for a reason. But, at the same time, it's like, to think, all right, what if the Dolphins, instead of getting rid of him, we got rid of McDaniels? That would have been the first domino to fall. And at least we keep Greer, who at least has the experience of being a GM, to maybe maneuver some deals for us before the trade deadline. Inevitably, he was going to go anyways, but it's like maybe the timing of it could have been, you probably could have done it a little bit better. But no, he was the first one gone, and then it's like, all right, who's running these deals? Who's managing these deals for us? People know that it's a fire sale, so they're gonna lowball us. But yeah, man, very disappointed, not just with the result of the game and how ugly it was for us all around. I mean, week to week, bro, there's just absolutely no consistency with this football team. And then now the most pressing matter and the biggest issue is what do we do with Tua's contract? So.
Well, the thing, the truth of the matter is, right, is that we're extremely, extremely, extremely limited on what we can do, right? Because even if you did cut them, you're taking about an $86 million hit on the cap just in 2026 alone. Not only does that hurt you for the next 2 years, you limit yourself as to how much money you can spend signing players, including your own players, right? Like you wouldn't even be able to afford signing your own players, and now you're trying to pick like the worst of the worst here, and seeing like, oh well, who can I afford? Yeah, that's not the position you want to be in. So Tua's definitely going to be here next year. How long? Don't know, because there's all these rumors about like him being valuable to other teams. Obviously, there are teams that are way worse off than we are from a talent standpoint on the quarterback position. That they would love to have a guy like Tua who can, throw the ball at least a little bit and kind of move the offense. If you have some playmakers, you have a good offensive line, he can kind of put up points, whatever. The point of the matter is there was no foresight 2 weeks ago to either keep McDaniel or keep Greer and say this is the direction that we're moving in, right? And even to put the guy in place and in the interim and say I'm going to at least give you 2 weeks to work on this, not a day and a half, right? So there's a lot of things, bro, that point to this organization's failures. And as a Dolphins fan, as much as it pains me to say it, like we're all over it. You know what I mean? Like we know that we're in for a rebuild. We know that the Tua situation is going to be ugly. It's going to be a weird breakup when it does happen. Whether it's in 2026 and he gets dealt in the off season or during the season or whatever happened to it, it's going to be messy at some point because there's going to be a new GM and a new coach in charge, and that's always an ugly thing. So I'm not looking forward to that day, but I am interested to see who goes and who stays, man. And I think
Yeah.
that's what the rest of the season is about, right? Like we know we have some talent in positions. We know we have dogs that are really playing their asses off, right? You talk about Jordan Brooks, you talk about Achan, you talk about Patrick Paul. Like there are dudes out there, man. Giving it their all, dog. Realistically, even Jalen Waddle, dog. Even though he's not performing to that level, he's really out there working, right? Um, yeah, we got to see who really wants to be here. And the Dolphins have to recognize that. And I don't know if they can do that. This Sunday against the Bills at home, we know it's going to be buffaloed out. We know that, right? And the only question is how many points are they going to be able to put up on this offense? I don't think anybody in their right mind is giving the Dolphins a chance to win this game at home on Sunday. And that's a damn shame.
Yeah, it is, man. But I mean, they've done it to the damn selves. Fool me once. That's pretty much where we're at.
Yeah,
They keep coming out and putting on a shit show every week, and there's nothing really to stand behind and go. Well, maybe there's a chance, or we can have an upset. It don't look like that. That locker room is gone. McDaniel's does
right.
not have that locker room. Tua does not have the team. It's looking bleak, bro. It's looking bleak. And the fact of the matter is, like, we still got like 8 games left. Like it's like 8 weeks left in the season, bro. We still got to deal with this shit. Oh man.
Hey, that's what OnlyFans is for, right? We had to skip last week because of scheduling conflicts, but that's what we got OP for, man. So if you really want to hear us bitch about the Dolphins, check out OnlyFans. We do a post game show every Dolphins game, and that's where we air out the frustrations on the bullshit that we're seeing on the field.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing, dog. Is bullshit. But I think that's enough
Right?
about that, bro.
Yeah, and what's funny is that it also ties into the next topic, which is also football related, which has been bullshit on the field, and that's the Miami Hurricanes.
Pause.
Um,
Pause for 1 second. Do you
okay.
remember? Do you remember a couple weeks ago when we spoke about them heading into that game? And I said, man, we haven't really talked about the Hurricanes. I hope we don't jinx them. They've lost 2 in a row. Two in a row. They lost since we had that
The
conversation.
old sports was so special, right?
I mean, I don't know if
Um,
it's a coincidence or what, dog, but geez, man. I mean, dog, what is going on with the U, so?
I don't think it's anything going on with the U. I think it's the same old U, right? I think what we've seen from this collegiate football team being led by Mario Cristobal is that they're going to give you the best of what they can give you in the beginning of the season. And when the games matter or when the games can be what propels them to get to the next level of their season, They're always going to come up flat. It's not a coincidence that Mario's tenure here as a Miami Hurricane has him with a sub 500 record in the month of November. That's terrible because that's when again the games matter. You're playing ACC opponents. You're trying to get into the ACC championship. You're
Right.
probably ranked inside the top 15. It is a disgrace, realistically, bro. Not only to lose back-to-back games, right? Um, but the manner that you lose them with turnovers, with penalties, with terrible play calling, not being able to be forcible with the run, your quarterback looking shaky. Yeah, that's not Miami Hurricanes football that we witnessed 6 weeks ago, right? And it's funny because, bro, to fall from second all the way down to 18th, and they're lucky they're 18th, right? They're lucky they're 18th because, truth be told, this committee has no reason to respect the Miami Hurricanes because they have no history of being able to finish strong ever, right? They haven't won an ACC, they haven't made an ACC in a while, so let's cut that out to say that. Well, we got the new head-to-head win against Notre Dame, and they're ranked higher than us. Yeah, but you know what? One of their losses is to us, and we fumbled 2 losses. So who's really the better team here at this point? It just shows a lack of focus on Mario's part. It's extremely frustrating to the fans because as much as they would want to see change and see Mario get fired or see him get, stripped of certain like responsibilities or whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, that man's not going anywhere. He's owed a 6-year contract, which is worth a lot of money. The Miami Hurricanes cannot afford to pay that man out like other big schools are doing, right? We've seen a lot of coaches get bought out this year alone. I think it's 4 and counting. So, yeah, the Hurricanes are in a tough spot because they know what the maximum that they've reached with Mario, and I don't think they'll ever get any higher than that. So I told a coworker the other day, he's like, "Dog, what's up with the Canes?" And I'm like, "Well, I need you to get ready for the next 4 to 5 years and get ready for that roller coaster where we get that starts of the season and it's awesome, awesome, and then we reach that point where it's like, oh, it's November, time to duck, and then we're heading downtown." I really don't know what they can do to turn it around because it looks like a team that already has it in their back of the mind, like, "Fuck, here we go again."
I think it comes down to leadership, man. I really do. I think it comes down to crystal ball. And
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, the loss that they suffered, Beck, I think, had 4 interceptions in that game.
Yep.
One of them was the last one that closed the game as they were driving to try to, score a field goal to tie up the game. And then this week, overtime? We threw another pick, I think, to end the game or something like that. How did this one end this
Yeah.
past week against
Yeah,
was it
in
SMU?
overtime he threw in overtime. In the first possession, the Hurricanes take it, and he throws an interception, a terrible interception. And you mentioned, Beck, like we talked about his expectations coming into the season, right? With the amount of money that this dude was making, for him to be as bad as he's been, bro, 14 touchdowns to 9 interceptions.
No, and not just
Man, that's
how
not the
many
dude.
how many of
That's not
those
the dude.
nine how many of those nine were in the last 2 games alone? I think he had
Yeah,
like
in the last
five in the
three games,
last.
because in the last 3 games, because even in the Stanford game, I think he threw a pick, and before that was the game that they lost to Louisville, and he had the 4 interception game. So yeah, in
So
the last 3 games, he's at least 5+ interceptions.
it's
That's
not looking
terrible,
good.
dog.
And a year or two ago, I remember, I would come down on the Canes and you would go, "Hey man, just give Crystal Ball time, let him get his guys in there." You know what I mean? Where once we get that, bro, Crystal Ball has his guys, bro. He has the guys he needs. He has the guys that can
Uh,
win. And something's not right there, bro. Especially like from the beginning of the year to then now, like these guys are hanging in there with us and competing with us when we should blowing them out of the water, dog. To these, maybe Louisville, okay, but SMU, dog.
yeah, but even Louisville, right? Like
Even
again,
Louisville, we should be
that's
dogging them.
even Louisville. You should be dogging them. You were up in that game. Like when you were playing Louisville, like the game was 14. You're down 14-zip. You fight back. You get the lead, and then you piss it all the way in the fourth quarter. And that's the interception game that Beck had. 4 interceptions. Even against Stanford, he didn't have a great game, and everybody was expected to be like, well, damn, this is the game that Beck is really gonna bounce back and have a career day. Pa pa pa. 189 yards with 1 touchdown, no INTs. Yeah, that's not a career day when you threw the ball 28 times. You know what I mean? Like, brother, if it wasn't for this rushing team, if it wasn't for the offensive lineman studs that we have, I think we would see an even worse version of Beck because he would be under pressure, and I don't think he can deal with that pressure. Realistically, I don't. I'm
Season's
without
over,
words,
dog.
dog. It's
Season's
weird.
over. It's
It's
over.
yeah,
Three
for sure.
losses
The
in the
ACC is
last
out the
four games,
door.
bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I said like they're lucky to be ranked 18th, dog.
Exactly. I
A
completely agree.
100%.
I completely agree,
You
dog.
know,
There's
they're
no reason
they're
they should be
they're
even inside the top 20.
no, no, and again, the schedule is not going to be any harder, right? Any easier because they're playing a Syracuse team right on this Saturday here at home. But Syracuse is 3-6, right? And they've shown that they can upset teams before, and they can go out there and make shit difficult. But we've also seen this team play down to their competition, right? So if the Canes are coming in and they're not focused, they're going to go out there and wet the bed, dog. You know what I mean? And again, they've been in competitive games. Yes, they've gotten blown out here and there, but they've been in competitive games. And I don't have enough trust in this staff. I don't want to say the players because the players are only doing as much as they can, right? If they're not being coached correctly, if the right play calls are not being made, if the right, schemes aren't being put in place, then the team is going to suffer. So I don't know, man. This next game on Saturday, I'm pretty sure that stadium is going to be empty because I have a hard time seeing people going out and supporting this team that has shown, again and again, a capability to throw the season away. And I personally think that the fans are tired of it. Um, so yeah, I don't expect anybody to show up on Saturday.
We got
It's talking
Syracuse
about a
Saturday.
3:30 game.
We got Syracuse Saturday. The next game is NC State, then Virginia Tech, and then Pittsburgh, bro.
Yeah, and
Even if
those two
we
last
run the
games on the road.
table, even if we run the table and we blow all of these teams out the water, dog, it don't do shit for the Canes, dog. That's a sad
No,
reality.
no. And look, and you talk about, NC State, this is a team that's given the Hurricanes historically a lot of issues. On top of that, they're just coming off a huge win where they beat Georgia Tech 48-36, right, on the road. So yeah, they're coming here to Miami to face a team that is not playing their best ball, showing signs of being completely unstable, and they're coming in here thinking we got a chance. Just like teams that play the Dolphins think like, hey, this is the team that we kick start our season against. Let's go out there and beat them and get a good win. I think that the Hurricanes are heading in that direction, and it's a damn shame, dog. It's a damn shame to
It
see that
really
shit
is.
happen again.
It really is, bro.
Yeah,
South Florida football is in shambles right now, bro. Both
yeah,
pro
yeah. It's
and
terrible.
college.
It really is. It really is. Um, let's flip it over to a team that is kind of surprising me, right? And that's the Miami Heat. Because when we talked about them in the season preview, Joel, we mentioned that they were going to be an interesting team, right? A lot of young guys that are figuring out how to play together. They're going to have the opportunity to play more freely because they're not burdened by a quote unquote superstar who has to come in here and manage the game and take 30 shots at XYZ. What we've seen is the implementation of Spo using fast-paced basketball, right? And also the emergence of Norman Powell being exactly as advertised before he got here. Um, I think out of the two things, the one that is more impressive is Spo's adjustment to say, you know what, this is what best serves this team. I got to use the talent and what they have as far as their, talented abilities. Let's make these guys run. These guys are young. They're used to playing like this in the gym when they're playing, with their boys. Let's get this rolling and see how we can implement that. And the fact that we're a top five team as far as pace of play, getting shots on as far as field goal attempts, scoring, we're up there in top 10. Like this Miami Heat team is a different version of what we've seen Spo throw out before, and it's exciting basketball. That's why I think it's the most exciting thing because we didn't expect this. I didn't expect this fast paced basketball team.
Couple of things. Couple of things I'm gonna know. I like what I'm seeing. I'll start off with that. I will say though, it's still early in the season. Okay, so it's the very beginning of the season.
For sure.
But we no longer have Terry Rozier, who was, as we know now, a black cloud over this Heat team,
Yep.
selling and throwing games and all that bullshit. All right, so now he's gone. Now the team can refocus. Right. We don't have
Mhm.
Tyler Hero, our main scorer, which makes all of this that we're doing right now. that much more impressive in my opinion. Because once this guy gets back, it should be fun. It should be pretty interesting to watch because we know the kid's a certified
Yeah.
bucket. And then the other thing is, we didn't see a whole lot of this guy last year in his sophomore year, which we found a little surprising. We've seen a lot more of him now early on in the season, and that's Jaime Jaquez Jr. Jaime Jaquez Jr. has been very involved in this offense, putting up points. And, I think he had 20 something points the other night, a couple weeks ago or something like that, which I was like, oh shit, I didn't know he could do that. But it's nice to see the kid getting minutes again and getting in that rotation. You know what I mean? Spo is changing. It looks like he's changing things up, and rightfully so. At the beginning of the year, right now is the time to do that, right? Experiment, play with all the pieces that you got, and they're flowing, man. I really like what Norman Powell's doing. It's true what you said. He's exactly as advertised. I'm glad we got that guy. That was a great addition to this team.
Yeah, good call on the Triple J too, man, because Hawkins is doing this off the bench. Hasn't started one game, averaging 16 points a season, 16 and 16.9 actually, so damn near 17. Bringing in 6.7 rebounds and dishing out 4.5 assists a game. This is a dude who's playing his best ball because of the style of basketball that we're playing. And I think it's just another asset to this team to have such good guys who can contribute. He's third, dog. He's third on points per game, on this Heat team, only behind Norman Powell, who's at 23, and Bam, who's at 22. So, he's finding his best role on this team. And it doesn't matter that he's coming off the bench or not, because he's getting enough significant minutes to make a difference. Same thing with Norman Powell, right? He is as advertised, but he also missed a couple of games, and the team was able to, withstand that. One of the games was really close and we lost. Another one we won. So it's not a team dependent, on a star. This is a team that's playing as good as team basketball as we've seen in recent history, where the ball is moving, guys are cutting to the basket, guys are crashing the boards, and it's really standing out. Another thing that's really been standing out to me, and I got to give him an amazing shout out, is Pelle Larsson. This is a dude who had to completely change his mindset coming from Sweden, coming from Europe, right, where these guys are more about the team and playing passing the ball and this, that, and the third, and coming into a franchise where he has to be more of a killer on the court. And he said that in his latest interview with Jackson, where he said, in Sweden, I was used to playing a little bit more friendly. Now when I play in the NBA, my mindset is to go at the guy, whoever is guarding me, and doing the best I can to destroy that guy. That in itself has already shown into his aggressiveness. He's averaging 8 points a game. He's shooting really well. He's one of the top 3-point shooters that we have on the team, over 40%. This guy has been playing lights out for us, and he's coming off the bench. Another guy who's, again, making the most of the opportunities given to him by Spo.
That's what we need, dog. We've seen it every time we've had a successful run. It's because we have a deep, serviceable bench, right? That come out and can do what starters do, but don't need to. I mean, Tyler Hero, right? Before he was the starter, he was our sixth man of the year. That's what we had. And that's what we need, dog. We need those guys to hold it down for us in that second change. You know what I mean? When our starters go out and we only have Bam out there or something like that, we need these guys to go out there and do their job, bro, and go hustle. And that's so far what we're seeing. Long season, though. I know, we've only got 7 games under our belt. We're 4-3 right now. And then tonight, I think we're playing the Spurs at 9 o'clock out on the West Coast. It's the Nuggets. Sorry, not the Spurs. Yeah, we played the Spurs the other day, right? Which, by the way, let's talk about that game. I don't want to pinpoint any game. Close game. But, dog, let's talk about somebody we haven't spoke about yet in Khalil Ware. Holding it down, him and Bam, holding it down and containing Victor Wembanyama. I mean, I like this kid Khalil Ware. He hasn't really been there yet early in the season, right? We haven't really seen his name too much. Haven't really seen too much. That game, it was a pretty good game, but I'm expecting real big things from that kid this year, bro.
Absolutely. I think that he's finding his space in order to be the effective guy on this team. Hey, you need me to D up and rebound? No problem. I'll get my dunks whenever I get my dunks. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really worried about shooting too much. So he's been able to shine in the minutes that he plays in because he's just doing the 2 to 3 things that he has to do out there. They're not asking him to do 5 to 6 different things as we were last year when we were trying to figure shit out, right? And even guys like David Mitchell, we mentioned Pelle Larsson, we talked about Bam, we talked about Khalil Ware, Hawkins, all of these dudes, right? Like even Drew Smith. all of these dudes are just doing the little things that they can do really well and saying, all right, this is what I'm gonna do in my 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes of game time. Every single time I'm on the court, pam, 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 and that's helped that he stay in games. We talk about how much we want to see Bam become a leader. I think we've seen real strong signs of it this year, right? With his comments and more importantly with his play. Not only does he have a 30-point game already this year, but 4 of these 7 games he scored over 20 something points, over 22 points, right? Actually over 24 points. So it's 24, 26, 31, 25. And in that 25 point, in that last game against the Clippers, we needed all of them. He shot 10 of 18, hit 2 threes and grabbed 10 rebounds in a victory on the road on a back-to-back against the Clippers. So he's taking that leadership mantle not only with his words but his play. We've always wanted to see him hit that 20+ mark. He's doing it for us this year. If they can hold on to this momentum for the rest of the season, I think the integration of Tyler Hero into this type of offense where it's run and gun and people are getting good clean shots just makes this team even better, right? So it's exciting. It's exciting. What these guys have going on right now is really exciting.
Can we talk about a rumor I heard potentially?
Sure.
I wanna gauge how you would feel about this potential move. I kind of think I know already more or less what you would say, but there's a rumor out in these streets that the Grizzlies front office is sick and tired of Ja Morant's antics, and they're potentially gonna part ways. Let's say they're gonna part ways potentially. Would Ja Morant be a guy that you would want to see in a Heat uniform? So,
no, I would not. And the biggest reason why is because he's a ball stopper and he's not necessarily a great shooter. There's a dude who lives off the free throw line, to be honest. His game is crash the rim, get some free throws. And as great as that is, it's not sustainable in the long run. So I don't think that his game is going to be conducive to what we have going on here. The moment we bring a guy like him into this type of team, that automatically changes the dynamic of the team because now we have to accommodate this dude. You know what I mean? I think we have to wait and see what Tyler Hero's contribution to this type of team is, right? And see if he can continue to be that all-star type of guard. And he comes in and puts up an easy 25 points per game. Shit, we're not going to need anybody else because we already have 4 guys who are averaging more than 15 points, 16 points a game. You throw Tyler Hero into that mix, now you're talking about a high point offense. Yeah, man, the Morant thing doesn't fit down here. Everybody likes to think that the culture will fix everybody, but I just don't think that his style of play is conducive to what we do here. Yeah, I know.
I'm one of those. I knew that's what you were gonna say. But I'm one of those, dog. I'm one of those guys that goes, you know what, brother? This is a young kid, a troubled kid. He's in Memphis. Ain't shit going on in Memphis. We bring him down here. We show him how to win, like we did with LeBron, like we did with Jimmy Butler. We show a kid like that how to become a champion. And on top of that, dog, it's the Gunshine State, my boy. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here, dog. We got you, blood. It's Obi Carey out here, fool. You good? You can flash that shit. Right, you ain't got to worry about nothing. But the ops, that's it.
No. Look, it's funny. Hey, Pat doesn't like that. You know what I mean? Pat doesn't like that. Pat doesn't like that.
That Selly at the Kaseya Center would go crazy.
Brother, until he's coming up short in the second round against the Hawks. Get out of here, dog.
That's because you don't got Tyler Hero and Bam around him, dog. Or Norman Powell. You know what I'm saying? He gives somebody like that.
We're off that.
I'll be open, dog. I'm going to tell you right now, a kid like Ja Morant, bro, give him a second chance.
No chance, dog. Mind you, second chance, yes, but you're also paying this kid $80 million, $60 million for that second chance. And if it fucking goes wrong, it goes all the way wrong, and you just destroyed this team.
It ain't my money. Yo, Mickey.
That's a fact, baby.
Mickey.
That's a fact.
You better get another bowl of water, dog.
No. Don't do it. But yeah, we'll keep watching this version of the Heat team, right? Until Tyler comes back and see what they do. You know what I mean? Right now they're doing their thing. I'm looking forward to watching this game tonight and catching some West Coast basketball, man.
Oh.
Speaking about the West Coast, the Panthers, they're on the West Coast trip. Starting in Anaheim last night, they lost 7-3, and they're playing tomorrow against the LA Kings before they head up until San Jose on Saturday. And even though the Panthers are 6-1, everybody's kind of worried about the start to the season, the standings. I'm like, yo, this team is not worried about a damn thing right now.
Nah,
You know what I mean? Technically, last in the division, whatever. It doesn't even matter because if you ask this team what their most important thing is health into the playoffs. Like we know we're gonna be there. We know we got guys missing. Yeah, I don't sweat the Panthers like recent form of games. It's like whatever. It might have hurt the Hard Rock app a little bit. You know what I mean? But that's about it, dog. It ain't hurting nobody else's feelings.
that's because we can trust them, dog. We've seen this happen. We've seen them start the season a little
Yeah.
bit slow. You know what I mean? And frankly, we prefer it. We prefer them to not be the number one team. We saw what happens when you win the President's Cup or whatever, dog. Like
Yep.
early
Yep.
first
Yep.
round exit. We don't want that. We want to grind. We saw last year same shit. We were a little bit sluggish at the beginning of the year. Then they caught a groove. They turned it on. They started getting into mid-season form right in time for the playoffs, dog. So that's all we
Right.
need to worry about is once the NHL All-Star break happens and all that, we start ramping up, gearing up towards the playoffs. Is what's the state of the team at that point? Right now, we're good, dog. We got a couple guys that we're missing. Maurice is figuring it out. In him, I trust, and Bill Zito, I trust. The Panthers, I trust, dog. There's no stress there. Oh, I think we have a technical difficulty here for 1 second,
Oh, my
and
fault,
then
my
we can
fault, my
figure it
fault. No,
out.
no, no, there we go. No, I was gonna say that if you look at what the important thing is for the Panthers, right, as far as their keys to success and making long runs, winning streaks, that type of stuff, it's always be good at home. And this year they're 5-1-1 at home. So yeah, nothing's broken. Nothing has to get fixed. It's obviously going to be hard for them to go on the road and get wins because you're on a road trip. It's going to be 3 to 5 games. It's going to be tough. And we know how many extra games these guys are carrying and skating on, right? Like as far as legs go. So they're worried about the long game. I don't worry about the Panthers. I know we don't worry about the Panthers. And I honestly think it's awesome that they're back because it almost like is almost going to line up where it's Heat, Panthers, Heat, Panthers, Heat, Panthers, Heat, Panthers, and it's gonna be just great for us to watch and follow, man. Yeah, bro.
we
Let's
we
see what
need it.
happens with these Panthers, bro. I think they're gonna turn it around tomorrow, starting tomorrow against the Kings, and take care of business, man. I think they're gonna do it and start that winning streak and bring it back home soon.
I'm with you, dog. I'm right there with you, bro. I'm not worried about nothing with this team right now. It's still the
No
best team in
chance.
South Florida, hands down. No offense to the Heat.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. That's about it, doggy. I think that when we look at the landscape, Joel, dog, of South Florida sports right now, it's tough, dog. It's tough. The Dolphins are definitely one of the teams that you look at and you say, wow, they went from such a prideful franchise to being one of the worst franchises in the NFL, right? Yeah, they still have a lot of value, but they're one of the worst. You talk about the Canes, right? And their inability to get back to where they were so quote unquote supposed to be ages ago, and it's never gotten there. Um, Man, the last two teams that we talked about, the Heat and the Panthers, have been the only two teams that have shown constant success, dog. And what that looks like, to a fan, to guys like us, it's hard to root for those other franchises, those other teams when they don't come through, man, and they're not consistent, dog.
Yeah,
Yeah, it makes for good content, you know what I mean? But believe it or not, guys, we're fans first, you know what I mean? Like we want to see these teams win, dog.
yeah. Oh,
It's
I
not
mean,
all
that's our
about the
team,
clips
dog.
and yeah, that's it,
We've been rooting
that's
for
it,
them way
man.
before we did this, dog. We want them to win every time, but you know, it's shit we got to deal with
It
as a
is.
South Florida sports
It
fan,
is.
dog. But one
It is,
honorable
man.
mention before we do go, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention. Shout out to the Dodgers on winning the World Series. Hell of a
Yes,
World
sir.
Series. Part of me wanted
Greatest
the
World
Blue Jays
Series.
to win it. You know what I mean? Like, F the Dodgers. Like smaller market team. The underdog and all that. But at the same time, dog, we can't let Canada win baseball.
No,
Like, you know what I'm saying?
no,
Like,
no.
we couldn't let Canada win our
That's
sport. That's like us winning hockey, you know?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. It doesn't add up for them. It doesn't add up for them, right?
they suck so
And
bad at hockey and they suck at baseball, dog. Canada sucks.
and, and they lost the beef because Kendrick did kind of win that one, dog. But regardless, you know what I mean? Like they look at this Drake fan.
They're not
Um,
like us.
Yeah, right. But it was honestly it was such an amazing series. I'm glad it went 7. Right,
Yeah.
all the games were awesome, dog. They were worth staying out. You had a fucking 18 inning game. You had comeback wins. walk-off homers, like nasty pitchy performances. Like, no. This series had legit everything, dog. One of the best World Series I've ever witnessed. Real talk.
Same, hands down.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Good honorable mention there, man. We do have to let you guys know December 5th, BKFC is back at the Hard Rock. Your boys are going to be in the building. Make sure to follow us on YouTube because that's where we put all the post-fight interviews. And it's always a fucking vibe. So if you want to go out there, hit your boys up. We can meet up, say what's up. And yeah, it's always a good time. BKFC, go check it out. December 5th, we're going to be there live and in action. From my dog Joel, you guys know what to do. You got to tell a friend.
To tell a friend.
To tell one more friend.
To tell everybody they know.
And everybody they know and their mama about this podcast so we can keep doing this thing. Shout out to all our subscribers on YouTube. We hit the 15,000 mark recently, and it's all because of you guys. We appreciate you. Make sure to keep hitting that like button. That like button saves us. And yeah, recommend us to a friend. Until next time, y'all. Peace.